Verdansk has been out for practically 3 weeks now, and everybody for the most part is absolutely loving the game. We've seen leaks suggest that Call of Duty is super happy with the player count. We've seen longtime players coming back from not playing the game after so long, and player count numbers on Steam seem to be pretty good. Player sentiment on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, all of those have been fairly good. Keep in mind that we have a really toxic community. But even with all this, everybody seems to be having a good time. There's one thing that most people seem to kind of disagree about. Should snipers be nerfed? Which then brings up another question. Should snipers one shot to the head? And let me tell you, this is driving the community pretty damn crazy. On one hand, you have streamers saying this is absolutely crazy, HDR needs to get nerfed. And on the other hand, you have the casual community and even some streamers saying, no, leave it the way it is, let people have fun. So I decided to make this video to kind of talk about it and see what the community actually wants. For those of y'all that are new here and don't really know how I stand when it comes to snipers, I've always hated one-shot snipers in general, but that's mostly for competitive season. When it comes to public matches and just the casual community, I think it should be really fun and let people do whatever they want. Let snipers one-shot at any distance, that's fine. Let's get into what a lot of other content creators have to say. All of this started with none other than Swagg. He said, hashtag nerf the HDR at Raven Software. And let me tell you, this has 1.3 thousand comments, 328 retweets, and 3,000 likes. And as you know, that's my boy, so I decided to troll him, and I said, use me as a dislike button. And sure enough, we got 3.1 thousand likes. One Twitter user said, you run around with 50 rounds in both your guns, stop crying. And Swagg responded to that with, the HDR aims in faster than my AMAX. One YouTuber, Expel, tweeted out to this and said, this the bullshit that gives streamers a bad name right here, in case y'all were wondering. Another streamer said no. Another streamer, Shady, said nerf aim assist before nerfing the HDR. COD Community replied, hard disagree, just remove it from the ground loot and maybe increase best the ADS time. Should not be as powerful in ranked though. Another streamer, Big E, said nah. YouTuber Westy said no. So as you can see, a lot of people tend to disagree with this. Nuke Squad tweeted out this compilation saying you should nerf the HDR in Verdansk. Do you guys agree?
Where's this hacker at, Dante? Crack.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, you just gotta collapse.
Oh! Oh! Oh my! Oh my!
Yo, we both them dudes down, bro.
I know. Good shit.
Oh
good,
my
Dante.
god! Some of those snipes were pretty insane, so I can see why some people want it banned. In response to this, streamer and YouTuber Lucci said, I can't wait to go down the same exact path we did in 2022 because everyone complains about everything. Swagg responded to him with, who the f wanted Warzone 2? Even my GOAT, my King J God, responded with, big differences this time around in my opinion. Ranked will be an option for the sweaty players that want the game changed. I also see them tweaking long-range meta and potentially adding more sway or flinch to the snipers. I don't see a world where they remove one-shot sniping again. So because of those two tweets and Swagg saying he wants to nerf the HDR, he got a lot of backlash and a lot of people were pissed at him. So in response, he made this video.
There's so many like creators quote tweeting those tweets and kind of like talking shit. Jay, who was the one in the meeting when we played Verdansk the first time ever back in what, December? What was one of the first things I said should be in the game?
One-shot snipers. 150 players, one-shot snipers.
Bro, it's so exhausting seeing the timeline. And not even like, it's like the trolls are fine. It's like the other creators who have no idea what the is going on. Or like what is said in these meetings because they're not there.
Yeah.
One-shot sniping's fine. Like, bro, I was just like, I was seeing now, I'm like, bro, yeah, one-shot sniping is great. All I think is, if they're gonna leave the HDR the way it is,
take it out ground loot.
No, it's not even that. You gotta lessen the ground loot of just snipers in general, and you gotta make ARs have great bull velocity. So I think they gotta buff either the damage range on the assault rifles, which I'm cool with. I would love it to buff the kilo AMAX ground.
Yeah, because you
that or make the flinch insane. Yeah, that's what I mean when I say nerf the HDR. Like, you gotta like nerf, like make it have more flinch. Make it a little bit, I mean, it just, I'm not saying nerf the one-shot sniping ability. That's fine. I don't give a fuck if someone snipes you out of hell, good shit.
So in that video, he brings up a lot of good points. When people say nerf the HDR, I don't even think the HDR needs a crazy nerf. To be fair, I don't even think they should nerf the HDR in general. Maybe a little bit of increase to flinch, but that's about it. The one problem that I think we've run into for the last 4 years is there's only 1 to 2 viable metas. What tends to happen is there's one broken gun or one broken thing in the game, and then they nerf that thing to the ground. And I understand what some people are saying, that streamers are gonna ruin the game again. But to be fair, I'm gonna be honest, they don't really listen to streamers. I just wanna throw that out there. Look at Warzone 2. We gave them feedback that that thing was horrible before it came out, and they didn't change anything. And look how that year turned out. I digress, but what I'm trying to say is they have to stop nerfing things to the ground. The HDR, in my opinion, is broken, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Think about how many clips you've seen on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter about people one-shot sniping. Now look at the reactions and how much happiness that brings to people. Do we really want to take that away? In my opinion, I say no. But does that mean that the game should stay exactly the way it is right now? No, not necessarily. Swagg brought up a good point in that video, and I know J God mentioned it in one of our previous podcasts. Instead of nerfing the HDR to the ground, why not just make other guns better? He brought up a pretty good suggestion. Why not make the default attachment 6 instead of 5? Get rid of gunfighter altogether. What this would do would open up one attachment to your gun. For example, right now, sometimes bullet velocity is low, but recoil is good. Or recoil is bad, but bullet velocity is good. Having one more attachment makes ARs competitive against sniper rifles. Right now, I'm going to be very blunt. Some people are not going to like this, but I'm going to be honest. If you're not running a sniper in the game right now, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And I don't really feel like that's the way the game should be. Keep one-shot snipers in the game, let people have fun. But let's make other guns more competitive to make everybody use whatever they want to use and have fun as well. So that's one option, right? They can add attachments and make guns be really good. Another option that J God brought up was why not just make the monolithic suppressor have recoil control? That will help, again, increase bullet velocity, but also make more guns competitive at longer ranges. So then they can then compete against a sniper. Right now, the biggest thing is from really far ranges, you can't really compete with snipers. Back in the day, bullet velocities were insane, and it felt like you could genuinely map people across the map with an iron sight growl. But as of right now, that's not really the case. Some guns just have far too much recoil. Again, they have either good bullet velocity and bad recoil, or bad bullet velocity and good recoil. There's really no in between, and that's because of the muzzle. You either have a compensator, which doesn't give you bullet velocity but helps with the recoil control, or you have monolithic suppressor, which does help bullet velocity but doesn't help with any recoil control. So I think they should genuinely buff the monolithic suppressor. That will open up a lot of different ARs into the quote-unquote meta. That's the route that I think Raven Software should take going forward. Let's not nerf everything to the ground where everything is unusable and everything just feels so clunky. How about we just make everything good? Make guns actually feel viable. If you want to snipe, go ahead and snipe. If you want to use an AR, go ahead and use an AR. And I'm going to bring up a controversial take that maybe not so controversial, I don't know. But I actually like the time to kill decrease. Not from a competitive Warzone, because I know that's very niche, but when it comes to the casual community and regular public matches, I think the time to kill is actually pretty good. Maybe they can increase it a little bit, but let me tell you why I believe this. The time to kill right now allows for you to utilize more guns than what would normally be possible. At the beginning of Black Ops 6, everybody was using the Cypher and the C9, and there was really no other gun that you could use. If you were using any other gun, you were at a huge disadvantage. Now, when they decrease the time to kill, yes, it does help more casual players get more kills, but it also allows everybody to utilize pretty much any gun that you want. Keep in mind, there are guns that still feel horrible, but for the most part, I can go ahead and pick up an SMG and still get a kill if somebody has a loadout. Why? Because that time to kill is just shorter. It makes things that much easier. I think that's one thing that not a lot of people are talking about. If you go back in the day and look at Verdansk 2020 and 2021, the time to kill was really fast. Pretty much exactly the same it is now. And the one thing I didn't really notice until now, looking at the time to kill, is you could genuinely just pick up any gun and it feel okay. Guns feel actually viable now. Let's disregard the horrible ground loot, because I know that's horrible, but just in general, right now, let's look at subs. Right now, you can use the AK as a sub. You can use the Swagg as a sub. You can use the PP19 as a sub. I picked up a Jackal SMG and I dropped 30 kills with it. And it's not because all these guns are meta, but it's because the time to kill is low enough to where you can use anything you really want to use. The long range meta is a little bit different, obviously, because the HDR is so powerful. Again, if they buff ARs a little bit, that will change. Let people have the option to use any gun they want. That's what makes games fun. I'm tired of using only 2 guns for a whole 3 months. In conclusion, I'm having a really good time on Verdansk. And I know the majority of the community kind of feels the same. The only people not really agreeing with that are the YY TikTokers or the Resurgence guys, which I completely understand. Resurgence is in a rocky state right now. But I love BR and I love the way the game feels. If you want to get aggressive, you can drop 50 kills. If you want to play slow and passive and you want to camp, you can do that too. The game right now caters to everybody, which I think is what was lacking in Black Ops 6. That was very skill gap heavy. And even though I love competitive Warzone and I love a skill gap in competitive Warzone, when it comes to casual Warzone and pubs, I think it should be just that, casual. Let anybody play however they want. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you guys enjoying Verdansk right now? Do you guys think the HDR should be nerfed? Do you guys think other guns should be buffed? What do you guys think? Let me know.